Why is it that when you act hot and cold with a woman, sometimes close, sometimes distant, she ends up chasing harder? It's not random, it's psychology. The very same principle that keeps people hooked on gambling and social media also keeps her hooked on you. Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. Today we're diving deep into the psychological mechanics behind one of the most powerful attraction techniques. Chapter 1. Psychology Foundation. Ever wondered what makes certain habits, apps, or even people so captivating, so difficult to step away from? The answer lies in a cornerstone of behavioral psychology, intermittent reinforcement. Pioneered by B.F. Skinner, this principle explains that rewarding a behavior unpredictably is far more powerful than rewarding it every single time. When a reward is guaranteed, motivation can fade. But when it's uncertain, the behavior becomes incredibly persistent. You're not just performing an action, you're chasing the thrilling possibility of a reward. This unpredictability hijacks our brain's reward system. Dopamine, often called the pleasure molecule, is more accurately the motivation molecule. It's the chemical of seeking and anticipation. When a reward is uncertain, our dopamine levels surge not just when we get the reward, but in the moments leading up to it. The brain gets hooked on the chance of a reward, creating a powerful craving. It's a neurological loop that whispers, "Maybe this time will be the one," compelling you to try again and again. The classic example is a slot machine, which operates on a variable ratio schedule, the most addictive kind. The lights and sounds are engineered to keep you pulling that lever, paying for the suspense of maybe winning. In the digital age, this mechanism is in your pocket. The pull to refresh gesture on your social media feed is the new slot machine lever. You pull it, not knowing what you'll get. That uncertainty is what keeps you scrolling. Each like or comment is an unpredictable little dopamine hit of social validation that leaves you wanting more. Crucially, this principle extends to human relationships. When someone's affection is inconsistent, sometimes warm and loving, other times distant and cold, it can create a surprisingly strong, addictive bond. The person on the receiving end finds themselves constantly seeking that next moment of warmth, tolerating the cold periods in anticipation of the reward. This emotional slot machine is the psychological engine behind many confusing relationship cycles, keeping people hooked on the hope of a jackpot that rarely comes. Understanding this is the first step to navigating the complex world of modern attraction. Chapter 2. Creating Desire. So, how do we translate the principle of intermittent reinforcement into the language of attraction? It begins by establishing the reward. This is the warm phase. It's more than just being nice. It's about creating peak positive experiences that get her hooked on the feeling of being with you. Think of incredible dates, conversations where you're both completely absorbed, thoughtful compliments that show you're paying attention, and moments of genuine connection. In this stage, you are present, attentive, and validating. You are establishing your attention as a highly desirable prize, a dopamine hit she enjoys and, crucially, begins to anticipate. But then, once the pattern is set, you introduce the variable. You pull back. This is the critical step, and it's not about being cold, cruel, or playing manipulative games. It's about demonstrating that you have a full, compelling life outside of her. You become slightly less available. Your response times get a little longer. You're busy with your own purpose, your mission. This strategically breaks the pattern her brain has become accustomed to. The human mind craves predictability and hates unresolved cognitive loops. By temporarily withdrawing the consistent reward, you create a psychological void, a question that demands an answer. This manufactured uncertainty is the catalyst for desire. Her mind begins to race, asking, "Does he still like me? Did I do something wrong? What changed?" That doubt fuels the chase. Her brain starts working overtime, not just to win you back, but to solve the puzzle you've become. She starts investing more mental and emotional energy into you, a process called cognitive investment. She might analyze your past conversations, check your social media for clues, or discuss the situation with her friends. The more she invests, the more her own mind justifies that investment by increasing your perceived value. Have you ever noticed a woman texts you more when you suddenly stop replying for a while? That's the principle in action. Imagine you've had several days of rapid-fire, engaging texts. She's gotten used to that instant validation. Then you take 6 hours to reply with a simple, "Hey, crazy day, hope you're well." That sudden gap creates a potent mix of curiosity and anxiety. The only way for her to ease that feeling, to get that dopamine reward she's now craving, is to re-engage and seek your attention. By being an unpredictable source of pleasure, you become unforgettable. Chapter 3. Addiction mechanism. The real power of hot and cold is that it taps into the brain's reward system. When the reward of your attention is unpredictable, it feels more valuable. She can't take you for granted because she never knows when you'll pull back. This creates an emotional roller coaster, the same highs and lows that keep people addicted to gambling or hooked on their phone. Imagine you tell her how amazing she looks one night, then the next day you're busy and barely message her. She craves that compliment again. The contrast amplifies the effect. Chapter 4. Practical application. How do you use this without seeming manipulative or toxic? The key is balance. It's not about being cold forever, it's about creating contrast. A few strategies you can use: give attention, then pull back. If you had a great date, don't instantly flood her with messages the next day. Let her miss you. Be unpredictable. Sometimes answer quickly, sometimes take your time. The inconsistency keeps her curious. Mix validation with challenge. Compliment her, but also tease or question her. It creates a push-pull dynamic. Chapter 5. Real examples. Theory is one thing, but seeing these principles in action is where the magic truly happens. We're moving beyond abstract concepts and into the real world, where small, calculated actions can dramatically shift the dynamic. Let's break down some concrete scenarios to show you how. Imagine a fantastic first date. The connection felt electric. She goes home buzzing. The common mistake is to immediately flood her with a long message about how amazing the night was. This signals overeagerness. Instead, you wait until the next morning and send a simple, confident text. Last night was fun, talk soon. This isn't cold, it's controlled. The subtle withdrawal creates a vacuum. It disrupts her expectation of praise and makes her wonder, does he like me as much as I like him? This uncertainty is powerful. It forces her to invest mentally, replaying the date, and anticipating your next move. Now let's look at texting. She's clearly interested and sends you 3 messages in a row. The knee-jerk reaction is to apologize for the delay. Don't. Let time pass. When you do reply, hours later, be warm and engaging, but don't mention the delay. Just respond to her last question as if you just saw it. This demonstrates that you have a life of your own and that your time is valuable. This is the principle of intermittent reinforcement. By not being constantly available, your attention becomes a rewarding prize, not a given. It keeps her engaged and eager for your next interaction, effectively making her chase. Finally, let's apply this to live conversation. This is where you create sparks with verbal push-pull. Instead of a generic compliment, you wrap it in a playful challenge. While she's passionately arguing her point during a game, you smile and say, "You're cute when you get competitive." The hot is the compliment, "You're cute," but the cold is the gentle tease, "When you get competitive." It shows you're observant and not just another admirer. Another example, "That's a really interesting opinion," for a playfully mention her zodiac sign. It's a compliment followed by a lighthearted jab that invites banter, creating a tension that's far more memorable. Chapter 6. Warning and ethics. A warning, hot and cold can be powerful, but if overused, it becomes manipulation. If she feels you're only playing games, it will backfire. The point isn't to create endless insecurity, it's to create attraction through healthy contrast. Think of it like spice in cooking. Too little and the dish is bland. Too much and it becomes inedible. Ever had a partner who was too unpredictable, warm one day, ice cold the next? That's not attraction, that's emotional chaos. Use this technique to spark desire, not destroy trust. Chapter 7. Long-term balance. Long-term, the goal is balance. You use hot and cold most during the early stages of dating, when attraction is being built. Later, it shifts into maintaining mystery and not being overly predictable. Keep her guessing in small ways, while also providing consistency in the bigger picture. In a relationship, you might surprise her with affection at unexpected times, but you also remain reliable as a partner. That's the difference between healthy unpredictability and toxic games. Chapter 8. Final takeaway. To wrap it up, hot and cold works because it uses the principle of intermittent reinforcement, the same principle behind gambling, social media, and addictions. By mixing closeness with distance, you trigger curiosity, desire, and even obsession. But the key is balance. Use it wisely and she'll keep chasing you. Abuse it and she'll walk away. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. Because understanding psychology doesn't just give you an edge in dating, it gives you control over how attraction really works. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Dark Love Psychology for more insights and tips to help you succeed. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.